fresh like the morning. Mouth wide open like they yawning. Every time you need it, deep fried. Homie, this is too far.
I'm Satch Rider. Welcome back to my channel. And today, I want to talk about the art of track building and give you some tips and tricks that I learned along the way when I was building my 3/8 mile test track. Let's take it to the track. Now, if you're like me and working with limited space, I would highly suggest you take the largest bike you expect to be on your track out somewhere and do some corners. Do some 180 degree corners to get an idea of how tight your corners should be on your track. For me, this is my tightest corner and it's really just about right. You have to slide in with the rear brake and then get on the gas hard to hit this table right here. Now, you don't want super tight corners all over your track, it'll ruin the flow. One or two tight corners here and there is pretty solid, but keep some of those corners sweepy. If you've got trees on your property, like I do, I would suggest trying to keep the majority of them if you can. Now, if there's trees on the side of your track that are causing a hazard, get rid of those. Also, sometimes you need to get rid of some trees to make your track flow better. That's okay. I tried to salvage some trees on my track and it was ruining the flow. I ended up taking them out. My track is 100 times better for it. As you see here with this small tabletop, I like to keep my features fairly safe. I don't have an ambulance or EMT on hand, and lots of times I'm riding on my own. Now, if you've researched track building, you've heard it 1,000 times. Drainage, drainage, drainage. And they're right. Unless you want to be riding in a muddy mess, you need to handle your water. I've got a spring up there and I've dug a trench along the side of the track right here to funnel the water down and across the track down over there into the pasture. Now I've got a single whoop right here that gets me over this spring. Now if you can see behind me, I've got a set of 3 whoops in a row. They're small, they're safe, but let me tell you, it takes some skill to stretch it out and triple through this. So my point is, you can have features on your track that are safe and still build your skill. Now, if you've got property to incorporate elevation changes, like the one behind me, count your lucky stars, because that's like frosting on an already great cake. If you have a problem piece of property that you're not sure how to get your track routed through, I would highly suggest you figure out a way to do that. That exact scenario was right here for me. And I've created this super steep downhill S-curve that's really given my track a lot of character and personality. If you're like me working with limited property, your track's gonna be a bit narrow. I would suggest 10 feet wide, 8 feet wide at the narrowest. Now, for me, I still wanted to do some racing and duking it out with buddies. So I created some corners that have some inside and outside lines so you can put the pass on. One last tip, don't forget to fence off your track and add some no trespassing signs. This helps keep out hooligans, but not only that, you don't want animals on your track, especially if you've got a dog at home. They just love to chase you on your track and get run over. We don't want that. Keep your track fenced and keep your dog inside when you're riding. And that's a wrap on the track build. Now, some of you might say, hey Satch, how long did that track take to build? Well, I'm glad you asked. It took me about 100 hours in a 10,000 pound Kubota Mini X and about 200 hours of manual labor. Thanks for riding along. For more unbiased E-Moto reviews, hit subscribe, keeping that content fresh. Yeah.